and fold it, wrap the tape around there. So like this is tape on the tape. Anyway. Can you get in here?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Sam, you're right there. So just gentle.
How's that? What's in this?
Helium. I had to kind of unravel it. And give it a little more. We don't do hydrogen.
Okay.
But that's what they really use is hydrogen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Don't want to be responsible for a bunch of kids blowing up. That would be bad.
Yeah. Even these are difficult. Like air gas delivered them to where everything gets delivered, and they were like, "We can't have these here." And you can't. I couldn't take them back here.
Yeah, to chain them up. And
Yes. They're like, no one has a license to transport those. What are you talking about? Yeah. You can give it a little more.
If you're filling oxygen and you go too fast, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is good at tying knots?
Not me.
Oh, come on. Somebody has to tie
It was
them.
in Boy Scouts, come on.
Yes, or Girl
Get Amber.
Scouts.
Get Amber too.
3 years ago.
Well, somebody, one of you is going to do it. This goes on the end of that balloon. There's a lot of knot tying involved in this.
I can barely tie my shoes, man.
Can you feel it going up?
Yeah, hang this thing.
Don't like that.
Not tying.
I can try and tie a knot.
Okay.
Would a bowline not work?
That's
That'd be
tutorial.
Alright, you're gonna have to hold this so I can look at it. I had to do it for scuba so much and I got so good at it and I just did it again.
Trying to just contain it.
You can do a little more. Can you feel it? Is it floating yet?
Yep.
All right. So what we need to do is, this thing is a little weight there. Someone hold that exactly straight. Can you feel you can you let go?
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Will it float? Yep. Nope. Hold on to it, Amy. All right. Alright. Olivia, hold the very bottom of it there and feel it pull up on you. And Haley, don't hold it. Just hold it right here, kind of. Yeah, hold it before. Olivia, don't let go of it or it'll go in you.
I promise.
We still have quite a ways to go.
There's a massive coin.
Oh, and this one is 300 grams. They make them up to 1,000 grams,
Oh, wow.
which would be like the it's huge.
This will be a Zeppelin at that point.
What does it need to go to?
1,100. Can you see it from that side?
Yeah, it's that like 6.
Every 3,000 PSI.
Yeah, that's
You have to be perfect.
Well, this is fun.
And we're going to carry this over to the field over there. So it's not windy today. Be all right. You got the tricky part is getting out of here. You kind of have to. Yeah.
Right. Almost that time.
Okay, Haley, you let go completely. What does it say now?
Wait. Time. Probably.
That's fine.
I've worked at Home Depot for the last year and a half, unloading the truck. And I've had to too.
Is it getting near the ceiling there?
You probably have like 8 inches.
Alright, it's at 10 now.
Okay, so just a little bit more.
Alright, I say it's
All right,
11.
slow it down. Maybe give it a little more. What does it say?
Alright, 11 and a half.
All right,
Almost 12.
please turn it off.
About how loud would it be at the top?
I don't know. I don't. Never.
I know. Yeah, I am uncomfortably close to it if it pops, so.
Okay, so we gotta take the tape off there and hold on to it, pinch it, and then make you kind of fold it over. And this part, fold it like a sandwich.
Got
and
it.
then you tie it like
Okay.
several knots.
Okay. Jonathan, come here. I need my guide.
Oh my God,
There you go. Yeah, it seems like you're so scared about having these near your face.
Yeah, it's.
Somebody might need to help him pull. So yeah, bigger sandwich. One big sandwich,
Oh, one big. Okay.
like that, yeah. And now tie a knot
Or
around
like
that.
I've tied my shoes many times.
This is confident.
Oh, I don't know if that's the right term.
It really doesn't matter what kind of knot.
I need someone to hold this bottom part right here.
This is like the kind of thing that you see in like random college commercials.
They've done these here.
Have they ever sat in on a weather balloon launch before?
I'm going to jam this. Hands are shaky. I'm so nervous. I don't want to mess this up.
Great, great, you're doing good.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
You think so?
I liked it a lot.
I did. It was,
I noticed some.
Is that good enough?
Just do one
yeah.
or two more.
Okay.
Real tight.
My hands are cramping because I'm holding this so tight.
I think you can let go of you.
We had 2 floor directors, and they both.
Don't let go of it.
I won't.
Even then, I'm
actually
holding.
the camera at the same time. They go to the camera. So at the end of the show, when they're all out looking at the camera, that's because one person wants to be
That's
on
not
one side, one
right.
person on the other side. And so then finally they're like, no, we're supposed to be on camera, so it's like the last second you have
I know he said a couple more times, but
Yeah, I think it should be good.
got it? I can hold on to it if you need me to. Probably not a good idea. I'm tall.
That's okay. I'm not even.
Thanks, boss.
All right, so carry this stuff over. That is the actual instrument right there.
No, I was
Me and Olivia are just gonna double team this balloon.
Diana has to let go.
She is letting me go. I gotta get a video.
Just in case for some reason. Back up. Okay.
Do
Hands
you
off.
want this to drag on the floor? This bottom piece?
That's fine. You know,
Okay.
all this goes away.
Right.
So out the door here and to the left.
Alright, let's go. Oh,
You're good. You're
don't trip. Yeah.
I just don't want you to trip on it.
Yeah, that's.
You got it?
I'll get my good side.
Okay, it's perfect. This could be the next meeting.
Yes. Oh gosh.
You're gonna have to hold it for a little while.
That's fine.
Yeah, I got you.
Grass is wet. Very. I think there's a little bit right here.
At least they're Converse and they look better than their daily. Left-handed it now.
No.
It's too much science.
It does hurt. Because I love this way, but it's just
Not somehow.
How old do you think that computer is?
It's not. This is called a ruggedized laptop, so it can get like rained on and stuff
Oh,
when
that's
we're out
cool.
here. So that's why it looks all chunky like this.
my hands are freaking hurting.
It is kind of old, but it still works.
I'm trying not to be in college.
Is it older than our iPhones? Maybe somewhere, yeah.
Is it older than the IDD stuff?
Let me tell you, I had a really hard time with that.
Oh, I did. I kept screwing it up.
I did that like 20 times. Oh, you don't want to see me. Oh, man, I was getting
I was like, Diana!
Watch my
I
butt.
just started my computer.
I might take my
I
bite.
realized I counted in the wrong areas, so I had
Yeah.
to start completely over. And it was, by that point, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I wanted to go to bed so bad. So I was just like, you can't like just erase.
No, when you press
I
erase,
know.
you erase the whole thing.
Yeah. And I'm like,
That
that
goes, and you're like, oh.
I know, I did that like
Go
5
for
times. I'm
like
like,
what you
seriously,
did, but
I was
that was the
almost
line.
finished.
Yeah, I just
Scared to say
when I 5 minutes
No. Yeah, no. I called my dad. I'm like, where's the undo button on this?
You like the,
Basically, with like, yeah, with the like the
My hands are going to be strong after this.
you're gonna get some biceps and looking like a rock.
Who's got the instrument? Can you read me the number it says on the back?
24462.
Does anyone have on their phone the connection to our weather station on Weather Underground or the website?
Yes, I'll look it up.
Definitely not.
Hey, let me take that ring off. I'm afraid I'm going to
While this is going,
pull it. It's tight.
we need more knots.
I
So,
got the rope.
Thank you.
Oh, zip ties. I can do zip ties.
Oh, my hands are cramped.
Oh, wait, no.
this goes around that circle. So tie a knot to that, yeah. Or kept them okay.
Don't ask me, I can't tie knots.
Move away now.
Just come right behind me.
And then this part goes on there. Heck,
Yeah,
Little
the
time.
base part is not
Try and you have that string there.
Even like another loop around.
Don't let go.
You don't do nothing. Don't do anything. Don't do anything.
Do that. My hands are gonna cramp up.
How's that? Harder? Better? Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't let go down.
Someone may need to switch me out.
The light turns solid.
It can't be like.
Because this weighs like super pounds.
Yeah, right.
Alright, Amber, wind direction and speed in meters per second.
Let go!
Somebody has to convert. Not your. No, degree.
Pop quiz. Pop quiz.
Does somebody actually want to talk?
I'm gonna get out.
45. So like. Are you pulling a meter per second?
Nice.
If I could argue this for a second, it takes a while for me.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
No, like that one? Like
Wind speed 5, right? 5 meters per second.
What's the actual speed? It is 0.89.
Yeah.
Alright. Good. So this zip tie goes around the end of that right here. So need to tie all these strings onto the zip tie. Anyone, someone.
don't all come at once now.
Somebody has to do this. This is your thing.
My brain tried to do some restart there. I didn't hear it. Okay, well.
Tie these together and then we'll like clinch that tight. Okay?
Well, like a knot?
Yeah. So all those strings are on there.
We're just like sitting here like, let's. We're trying.
Is that good?
Super hard.
Like,
Super hard, Diana. Do it.
Alright.
Not that hard.
Maybe do another one there.
Okay.
Okay, look. Just ready.
This one really don't need a blow right now.
yeah.
From your like, do the zip tie now. Is it locked?
Okay, so what's going to happen is you let go of the balloon, it's going to go up. When it pops, the parachute opens. All this string comes out here. This is called the D-reeler, to give a long distance between the instrument and all of this, because you don't want your temperature and all your weather readings affected by the flow of the balloon. So this is the radiosonde, or ray wind sonde, since it measures winds. It has temperature, moisture sensors, pressure, and then GPS in it that will, the antenna is tracking the movement of that at the 402 megahertz frequency, so it detects the change in position and thus the wind speed. Okay?
You collect data on the way down too after it pops?
No, because it's hauling ass. That thing, I think I had it set up at the stop. It knows when it's headed downward. Okay, you feel it pulling up pretty good? All right, so Diana, which part do you want to hold? The balloon part? Maybe go out there a little ways and somebody else carry these parts. So this, it's gonna let go fast. So like once they let that go, just don't hang on. Let me know when you're ready to let go.
Got it? It's okay. We got it. Got it?
Yeah.
Ready? I'm gonna let go.
Yeah, go.
3, 2,
Wait, no.
ready? I'll do the count.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Oh wait, no.
My strings are perfect.
Is it gonna pop? No, I can't see. Is it gonna fall down on us? I can't see it anymore.
That's the closest we've ever come to that sound.
It barely cleared it too.
You missed the computer. It says out loud, a balloon launch has been detected.
So it's gonna fall on our heads?
Well, it probably won't go with the wind's light aloft. Yeah. It won't go too far.
I'm excited to get the readings and stuff.
If it falls down right now, then it did hit the side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never hit a bird.
Is insurance?
There's the data if you want to kneel down and look at it as it's coming in.
What's the middle graph represent?
This is dew point temperature, this is humidity, and that's pressure. And then,
Oh, as you can see, it's going down.
yeah, so pressure's decreasing. This is dew point, that's temperature.
Alright. Good
That's where
luck.
You'll see it. Relative humidity is near 90
Pressure is
degrees.
also decreased.
So it had a big temperature jump right after the initial decrease? Or is it the other direction?
I got you.
This is getting lower, and there's the inversion there.
So
Like it goes to go up for a little bit before it records.
And where the inversion is? Well, the fog pretty much
No, it looks like it's. I mean, you transition kind of from fog to, I guess, lower level clouds there, it looks like, so it's still fairly high RH. Our pressure's not even 900 millibars yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it's not in the.
It's still in the troposphere, it's in the lower levels.
It didn't pop yet?
No, it'll go up for like a half an hour.
Half it?
I was feeling adventurous. Feeling adventurous.
We're going in.
Did Amber go?
Yeah, she went to Mesa.
Yeah, bye, Amber. Oh my god.
Some good pictures. Oh, look at that. I'm a pro.
Hold on, like you already interviewed.
Or some of them meme quality. I know mine, my first one.
So you can just slowly see it like disappear.
Micro rain radar. So it only goes up to about 1,000 meters. And that's a beam that goes straight up. Like that's happening right now, millions of times a second or something. This is where the controls are for that. Right now it just goes to a computer in the lab. This is where I got stung by a wasp this summer.
Ooh.
The guy told me they were in there, and I was like, I don't see anything. Right here. Smart. So there's a heater in here that's what's in this box because this can't get damaged in the wintertime. All made in Germany. I have to email the German guy and ask him, like, how do we do this? This radar is 25,000, and it's small enough that some people have put these on trailers, and so it could be mobile. Ours is not really set up like that. But, so right now on the current weather page, we just have what? Reflectivity, like you see from any radar, rainfall rate, liquid water content, and then drop fall speed. But this can also tell us how many drops are falling and what size they are, and the evolution of that through 1 kilometer or so. I'm still working on. That's a little bit harder to plot. So that's that.
Is that more for research than for use?
The school kept giving us money.
Okay.
Spend it. So I'm like,
That's bioweather.
you take the physical meteorology class, which studies a lot of cloud physics, and some of it can kind of be not the most exciting because there's cloud particles and raindrops are really tiny, so there's not much instrumentation that we have to collect data on our own, so that would be there. And there's also some potential student research projects with this because through an algorithm you can also measure the amount of precipitation from that, and then we have the rain gauge over there, that bucket on a stick. Measure the precipitation that way.
On a stick.
And it's a heated tipping bucket gauge.
Oh, wow.
And then the top one on the top of the tower there, that can also measure how many drops are falling through it and thus the precipitation rates. We have 3 different ways of measuring precipitation, so we might be able to compare those to see what the differences are since they're all co-located here. And this is the National Weather Service equipment, and it is called a Cooperative Observer Station. So there's a network of, come closer. There's a network of volunteer observers. Usually it's farmers because you gotta get up every morning at a certain time and for years send in this information. It's a really useful source for looking at climate change. This is one of the first ones in Michigan that is going to be completely automated, and it's got power only by solar panels, and right now it doesn't have the cellular communications, but that's what's going to be installed. So that houses the temperature and dew point. This is actually a big giant rain gauge right there. I think it's a weighing rain gauge. So you still can't measure snowfall. Like that's going to be done by the people at the power plant. CMU has been measuring data like this for 100 years. So it's good to continue that and have it with our other instruments.
That'll be the good part about being the only school in the state with an undergrad program.
Is it going to record, or is the NWS going to use it for climate data?
Yeah.
So we'll have a climate spot here now?
Well, we always have.
Well,
This was poorly cited.
like, do you think they'll use it as one of their climate sites?
Oh, you mean for
Like Lansing, Grand Rapids 1,
I
something
don't
like that?
think so.
No?
I mean, this should be in the data.
Right.
Like this is on. I don't know what feeds you guys get from the broadcast side, but Weather Service gets data from this too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But no, I don't know how they decide what's a climate site that they report data.
Right.
So this is just the surface weather station. It's part of Michigan State's Enviro Weather Network. So they have these across Michigan and into Wisconsin, and ours does a lot more than the basic station for that, so we use it for different purposes. But the purpose of that network is to serve agriculture. So they take this data and they run things like irrigation models to help farmers know how much do they need to water the fields for their particular crop. And also a whole bunch of different pest models, so like under what weather conditions will we see the bugs that get into the wheat or something like that. So there's tons of different resources there for all different crops. And so there's a lot of farming in Isabella County, and now they have this that the university paid for and provides, and I maintain, so that they can get some better weather data. And so there's the rain gauge, it's heated. The little spikes on there is because the bird keeps pooping in that every spring. And when it poops in there, like it clogs up the little tiny hole, so I have to come out here and stick a screwdriver in there because the water will get plugged up in there. So even with high-tech instruments, still manual labor. They didn't fool the bird as much as I had hoped it would. So it just tips in there, and then there's a hole in the bottom and it just dumps it out, so that doesn't collect. It just measures what's coming in, and then we accumulate that. So all of this out here is hooked up to Ethernet, except for that weather service one. Comes through there, and that's how I process the data as it comes in, and we see it in real time. That's a wind vane and anemometer. It's not a cup anemometer, it's a different kind. Up there is the present weather sensor. I told you that measuring the intensity of precipitation. And I can show you some more of the graphs I have that. But that can tell us the visibility as well, the fog. It also can tell us the intensity of rain as well as the type of precipitation. Temperature and pressure and dew point are inside that thing that looks like a little hat. It's aspirated, so it's air flowing through there so that it's not affected by variability around. Everything is painted white, so it's more reflective. That's the solar radiation sensor right there. It's not perfectly sighted because there are certain times of day, depending upon the time of year, that the other instruments will block the sunlight. That's something that's important for knowing how much sunshine you're getting. They're supposed to be installing solar power somewhere between here and Grand Rapids, so they give our data for them to prepare. And this is the sonic anemometer. So that measures the wind speed. Things that looks like little hands. It's not. Well, it's still working, but we're not collecting data from it because I put on too many other instruments that the little computer in there couldn't handle. So maybe eventually I'll get a better data logger that hooks that up. What that can do is it's very sensitive. So the slightest amount of breeze it can measure, whereas this is not that sensitive. That has disadvantages, like if it gets iced over, it's not going to work. Whereas that's this coating on it that protects it and is less sensitive, so it can be okay with some ice or some. I mean, it could freeze solid potentially.
How does it measure? How does it measure the speed?
It's sending sound waves and measuring how much of that sound is interrupted. So one of those is the sender, the other is the receiver, and then sound waves we can't hear them. It's a certain frequency. Yeah, the hum is after the fan inside the so that, why do we want wind speeds that low? Well, you could get something called a flux tower where you have several of those. We could even do it here with one where you're measuring how much of the heat and moisture is coming from the surface. So that is heavily influenced by the level wind. So we have done that. This is a snow depth sensor. Also a sonic snow depth sensor, just sending out sound waves and measuring their return because it's able to detect when it hits the snow surface, and it is not hooked up. I need to put another crossbar on there that gets that further away because the sound spreads out and it measures several different measurements about a radius. So that is a way that you can get snow measurements without a ruler. And just having one of them is not the greatest. We really need several of them sighted. The Weather Service has these as tests, but again, it's just not as good as a ruler. Like certain other places have similar networks of stations, like that Michigan State one. New York State has one where they're measuring snow in real time with those little sensors. And I talked to that guy about making it better and how they use it. This is all set up and installed by us in the CMU facility. There are other sensors like underneath here. It's amazingly not been hit by the lawnmower yet. Those are our soil moisture and soil temperature sensors. So very important for agriculture. And then all the way out there is a leaf wetness sensor. And there's another one on the station here. So that is like a fake electric leaf that can sense when it's wet. So see that little white thing that looks like a leaf leaf? Yes. I don't know how useful that is, but farmers like to know when is the crop actually wet and how much of the time. So how much after a rain did it remain on the leaves? That's it. Michigan State had requirements for us to be part of the network. These were some of them, things that are not used as much as meteorologists and weather data, but very useful as inputs for agriculture. All of it goes. There's the webcam there. We've been through a few of those. Hopefully this one works. It gets too cold, it craps out. I don't know. They sold me one of them that was like, it only pointed at the ground. Damn it, that's not what we want. So I got this one. That's as high up as they were able to get it. So it points to the sky up there, and we've seen that. You can come look inside here at our handiwork, which is a disaster.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
This is a battery, which I have a new one that I think come out here and replace that because it's about 5 years old. This is the data logger. It's like a little computer. They have their own proprietary, cost money to, you have to use their language, the Campbell Scientific Coding language. And it's written for engineers. So Paul, you know what that means. They just think of it in different ways that a scientist would, but I've managed to figure out, what do I need to do to get the data off, and what is it telling me. And this is all communications here. All the instruments are wired to this, and we tried to label the wires, but it's long since, to be useful. For the most part, it just works. This is what it's supposed to do for years and years and years. This is not hobby grade, like an at-home data station. This is professional grade that they sell all over the world, all this stuff. This is the Ethernet controller there, Ethernet cable, all of it going out there to that box, and then under the ground underneath the street over there to the utilities. This space was already fenced in because of the wires there, so it's ideal for us. We looked at, there's like a campus space usage. They're like, oh, we got some nice concrete over here. I think, no. It's way too hot to be used. But this is a pretty well-sited spot. I had them cut down a big tree over there. I just like it there. Interfere with the radar. They told me one of those trees is a special tree. Do not do those. So I don't know.
Which one is that? The pine tree?
I don't know. And this box over here, this is just, so data logger we have is older, and they have newer, better ones. So I had installed too many instruments. There were no longer any spots left on there. So I had to get this thing, which is kind of a, no, so we could hook up more instruments through this that would then send them over to there. And we put a little putty in there so that we don't want spiders and stuff to get in there.
Shock them.
Are these little bags like the stuff that you get in like the yogurt box sometimes?
Yeah, you know what that's for? And that's to keep moisture out. Because moisture is bad for electronic equipment and for shoes. Whatever. So yes, same thing. We replace those every year. So underneath here, we dug a hole, a trench. So this is grounded for lightning. It's unlikely, I think, that it would get struck because with that, but it hasn't happened. Somewhere got struck around here this summer and it fried a network switch, so we're not able to communicate, and it was a huge pain in the ass.
And was that why the data was all screwed up?
For a period of time, yes. But now that's all fixed and we've been operational for about the last 6 weeks with no problems. Any questions about any of it?
Pretty cool.
I think that's all. Students helped us put it together. Had to have a really tall kid to get up there. I have a big ladder that's in the barn there with all the stuff. But that's it. This was put in 2014. Been here a while. Okay, that's good. Any other questions about any of it, or when you come and take a look, feel free. We can head back out and see if the balloon's still going. Hopefully a Windows update didn't happen.
Oh my god.
My worst fear.
Do it again. I will try again next week.
Not on fire. You're good.
All right.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
I'm
Are you gonna like edit it later or just?
trying to coordinate me. I'll see
Okay.
what comes in.
Yeah.
I only have so much space left on there.
Yeah. It's a lot. I'm so scared for our synoptic exam today. I'm so scared. He's gonna do us dirty, dude.
So.
Yeah. He already said there's gonna be questions, like 4 questions about this stuff.
screen's black.
Touch the eraser.
I don't want to touch anything.
I think the screen just timed out.
Yes, it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, okay.
Bob the Builder's here.
I'm still going.
380 millibars. Relative humidity 7%. Give it a little pop. It's saying it's phoning home.
E.T.'s phoning
How
home.
some of you actually get that? Wow. First movie I ever saw in the movie theater.
Okay.
I cried. It was traumatic.
When he goes like this,
Sense, I don't
he
think.
like touches the
Yeah.
finger. Yeah.
I know.
You know, my family from Korea was dated when 18 years of age, so.
There's the recommended descent rates, and that's how we know how much to put in the balloon. Remember, you can look that up. That's in there.
If you get the same data, would you know? You get more data.
Oh, I think it's
Yeah.
plastic.
If you launched it too fast, it would just fly up there. You would not be sampling it quickly. Yes. Although it pings back every 10 seconds. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's still there.
Too slow, I don't think is an issue. You just have to wait longer. But I think this is the right size balloon. 300 grams. We used 100 grams, which is much smaller. 200 grams is okay. 300 is just right. You know, the 600 or 1,000 gram balloon. Yeah.
What was the highest you
Remember, last time it got up, does it show how many thousands of feet it is?
latitude? No, altitude.
It's at
Altitude.
Latitude.
about 9,000 meters, so about 30,000 feet.
Oh,
wow, that's a lot of feet.
Wait, I have a question. So the relative humidity, it was at like 4% at one time, and now it's at 9. How come it's increasing?
Well, there's just a variation in how much vapor is up there. Like when we look at the satellite that shows vapor, that's still over a large area.
It is real cool.
So there's real fine variations. We also have in the department handheld weather instruments that I bought little tripods for and little wind vanes so it can measure wind speed and direction, and 17 of those. Like that.
Are those like
So
the
in the instruments class you'll be able to put those all around and see how much
like the
variation.
handheld ones, like in the okay.
Yes, we got all new ones.
Okay.
9.
So in the moisture lecture, which you should watch for today,
Is that chapter 5?
yes, you will learn about why is the relative humidity so low all the way up there. Does anyone know? What is the temperature like up there?
Very cold.
Cold, right? So cold air has less capacity for water vapor, and you're far away from the surface as well, which is where all the water vapor comes from. So it's very dry up there. That's why, airplane feels super dry up there.
You
One
should
of the reasons, yeah.
talk to them about mandatory and significant levels.
I don't know if we can get to that in here. This is part of their, will be part of the lab.
Yeah.
So what's the temperature now?
So we don't have
You said it's about
labs.
35.
Negative 34.4 degrees Celsius.
It's 34 degrees positive?
Negative.
Negative.
Celsius.
34 degrees positive. So in the meteor
I
must
want to be up
coming.
there.
That would be 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Negative 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh.
Well, like when you're in an airplane though, it's at like negative 60.
Negative 29. You said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nothing.
We're underneath this really
That's
warm
nothing.
bridge right now. Because this is crazy.
It's been like that for like the past 2 weeks.
Dude, I know this will stay that way too.
It's negative 40 at my house.
I think it was like negative. I think
I'm really hoping for like my campus weather forecast. The
When is
ridge
that?
just stays.
Oh, the way, yeah.
October 19th, baby.
it was like negative 45.
It'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of the month because this is
Yeah.
going to have to end soon.
Yeah, and the longer we wait, the
Usually
more
we get
extreme that
the
changes.
first few flakes come around Halloween too, right? It's usually
Times, yeah.
For us, yeah.
I hope we just get a massive cyclone.
Seriously.
Because you could. With the, remember that one that broke the pressure record in Minnesota in 2010?
Yeah.
And that was October.
Yeah. Hey, November 10th.
yeah.
This is our year.
I don't think he's going to find that
You
data.
don't think so?
I'm going myself. Yeah.
That was
Well,
like,
I couldn't drive.
yeah, I was going to say, it's 2005.
Just leave and go myself.
You know,
It was my 16th birthday, so I couldn't. It was like. Yeah.
More and more, they're never going to. They're teaming fun. It's happening already.
Find him everywhere.
10,000 meters.
There's one.
Oh wow, that's high.
It's disgusting. No, it's in the city.
Relative humidity is now. It's reached negative 40.5.
You don't have to keep filming this.
Are you sure?
I think this is
That's great.
Below